before we get into this video, I want to talk about why I want to do this type of video. I love watching the various videos where people will look at the gear being used by professional musicians, you know, major acts, you know, stuff you'd see in stadiums. And don't get me wrong, I think it's great that you can look at that, and I think it's great that musicians can have something to aspire to. That said, I don't know how relatable you can say that is. I mean, what kind of average musician has the money that stuff costs? So I thought it would be kind of cool to start looking at the gear that's being used by up-and-coming indie acts. So that's why I reached out to Vag Intent, and they agreed to let me look at this. Anyway, here we go. Let's take a look at the gear that they used. This was filmed before Vag Intent's last show at the Dominion House Tavern, one of Canada's oldest bars, been in continuous operation since the 1800s. Here we go, guys. Gear up to Vag Intent. Once again, folks, we are with Vag Intent, and today I'm with Dave Cannell. Okay, Dave is actually the lead guitar player. Is that correct?
That's correct.
For the band Vag Intent, and he's going to show us first his guitars that he's using for tonight's show.
Yeah, so I brought two.
And then your pedal board, right?
Correct, yeah.
Awesome. All right, so take it away, man.
All right, so I brought two guitars tonight.
Sick.
One is really just a backup. This is really going to be the main guitar that I'm playing. It's a Mexican Fender Jag with humbuckers,
All right,
which
take
is
a peek at this.
A little bit different.
Whew.
It's actually pretty stock. The only mod really that I've done to it is I've muted the bridge.
Let's see here. Oh yeah, man, I see
So
that.
I just have some of the fret mutes in there. Normally you put them up here, but I find that just the ringing out down here I'm not a huge fan of.
Okay.
But other than that, it's stock. It's got great humbuckers in it. I love the sound of it.
Very nice.
It does have some crazy controls.
Well, I gotta ask. I mean, if you're using the Jag, you gotta tell me, what do these knobs do?
Of course, you're gonna ask me. Well, these are actually just pickup selectors.
Okay.
Right, for neck and bridge. This is a high pass filter.
Okay. Sweet.
I pretty much just use the bridge pickup. That's pretty much it. This is the typical rhythm circuit where you can adjust that and then you can roll on the pickups as you need them. But and that's kind of like an on-off, an actual on-off toggle.
That's pretty awesome.
But yeah, it's a short scale. And
sweet.
Oh, I also did replace the tuners with locking vintage tuners.
Okay.
But they look the same.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's my main guitar.
Okay. So what do we got for a backup?
For my backup, we have a good old Gibson SG.
The classic.
Yeah. Cherry red.
Whew. Now, have you done anything to this one?
The only thing again is locking tuners.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's probably a good decision.
Yeah. Changing strings is just a lot easier with locking tuners.
For sure, man. All right.
I guess the other thing I did is I did a slight sand down on the neck.
Okay.
To help with not being so sticky.
This helps your hand kind of glide a little bit back and forth.
Yeah.
All right, that's awesome, man.
So yeah, those are my two go-tos, really.
Awesome. Sweet. All right, so now I think we got a pedal board up too, right?
Yes.
Oh, you like your toys. Okay, so let's see here. So let's just do a full shot here, and oh, he's got a crybaby. Is that a crybaby?
Yep.
Yeah, crybaby. All right, very nice. So tell us about your signal chain.
Okay, so we actually have the jack on the side just for ease of use, and there's actually a setup for a full FX loop.
Oh, okay, yeah, I see it. It's kind of like in the corner here.
They are labeled on the side. Yeah, if you look.
Very
down on the
nice.
side.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, so when I use an amp, that's when I use that.
Okay.
But so normally it goes right into my tuner.
Okay.
It's just a pretty basic.
So it starts at the tuner.
Yeah, more tuner.
All right. Very nice.
It goes over to the wah.
Run to the law.
That's self-explanatory.
It totally makes sense why you'd like put that off of the pedal board too,
Yeah,
right?
I've tried it on with the angle, and I don't like it.
No, totally.
I just prefer it on the floor.
Well, plus like they all got the little feet on them too, right?
Right.
So that can make mounting it a pain in the neck.
Yeah.
All right, so where does it go next?
Okay, then it goes into the drop.
Okay, so then we are running to the drop.
Which is actually new.
What is this? Oh, it's a new toy, is it?
Yeah. So it basically lets me do E flat without having to change guitars.
Okay, so it's like a drop tuning kind of thing.
Yeah, you can pick how much you want it to drop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's just for simplicity, so I don't have to bring as many guitars and whatnot.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next?
Next is the Ricochet,
Ricochet. Which one is that?
which is right here.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. The main reason I bought this pedal is for Rage Against the Machine. the solo for Killing in the Name. You need that. You need that whammy.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
I also use that on Seven Nation Army.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right.
Then from there it goes into the Freak Out.
Okay.
Which is I was telling you about earlier. It's basically, think of it as a natural feedback.
So it creates a feedback sound.
Yeah, without having to have a cranked amp to get feedback.
So without waking the neighbors, always good. Yeah.
Much more controllable, and sounds great.
Very nice.
So then it goes into the Tonex.
All right, Tonex. Now this
Which
is a
is-
pretty complicated unit. Or is it?
It's actually really easy to use.
Oh, all right.
Easier than you'd think. I have a clean setting, kind of crunch setting, and then my main distortion setting.
Okay, so you pre-programmed it.
Yeah, you pre-program it, and then this right here is a boost.
Ooh,
So
very
what
nice.
you can do, you can set each channel and then a second setting to switch between. So if
Okay.
I'm on distortion and I do a lead, I pop on the boost, and there we go.
Sick. All right. Now, I think the only one that's really left is this the double pedal here, right?
Yeah, we got two. We got the Phase 90, which is
yes, I did
Phase
miss that one.
95, yeah, which is a new acquisition.
Fun times.
Just because it's a phaser, it's fun to play with. The other one is the Devilfish, which is a chorus and delay combo pedal.
Okay.
So
Who
that's-
makes that? Oh, K-Line. All right.
Yeah, K-Line. They make a bunch of these double pedals, and I really like them just for convenience, space saving. You know, getting two pedals in one, basically.
Well, I also got to say, like I've noticed with the K-Line stuff, like some of the designs, just like on the boxes and
Yeah.
stuff, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. So like Devilfish. That's a cool name for a pedal.
Pretty
right?
awesome.
Yeah. And then it goes out to the DI box that goes into the mixer.
And
That's it.
all right, perfect, man.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. This is awesome.
All right. Not a
Gotta-
problem.
Well, good luck with the show. I got to go to your next band member here.
All right.
Here we go.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, man.
Hey, how's it going?
So, for the record, Noel was the one who I reached out to first about doing this. So, thanks for letting me do this. man.
Absolutely, yeah. This
All
is
right.
fun. I'll talk gear to anybody, so this is great.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You got a lot of toys here.
I do have a lot of toys. My bandmate likes to go minimalist. I like to go with everything. So,
Hell yeah. All right.
So
let's
this
talk
is my
about it.
main today. This is a just a Mexi strap. The only mod that I've done to this one is I swapped the single coil out and threw a Seymour Duncan hot rail in.
So it's a humbucker.
It's a humbucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a sweetheart deal on the guitar, but I really wanted that kind of thicker sound. So it's still very stratty without taking up the real estate that a humbucker would.
That's awesome. I got to tell you, man, I am a sucker for the surf green.
It is a gorgeous guitar. It really, truly is. I have no problem admitting it that I probably picked it up the first time because of the color.
Oh, totally.
I played Les Pauls almost exclusively for 30 years and just came into the world of Fenders. So
well, you brought it up, so I got to ask. Okay, I noticed, checking out your leg, I guess.
Yeah.
You got yourself a tattoo.
I do. So I'll show you that
is
one
a Les
next.
Paul. So yeah, let's get into that
So
one.
let's
I
get
gotta
into
ask
this
about
one.
that
So this one was my main guitar for
Okay, let's
probably a good 5 or 10 years. I bought this guitar sight unseen, never played it during COVID, 5 years ago now.
right, so Epiphone.
It's an Epiphone.
Les Paul.
It's a 60s Tribute Plus.
Okay, but
it is a Epiphone in name only. All of the parts are Gibson parts. So it's 57s in the neck and bridge.
All right. They're known for being like a little bit lower output usually, right?
They are. So to kind of combat that a little bit, because some of my guitars are a little bit hotter than that, I did raise the pickups just a little bit higher than
that's
spec.
smart. That's smart.
So that way I do still get some of that hot that I get from like even the hot rail there on the Strat, right?
For sure,
so just to kind of help it out a little bit. I don't touch the neck at all. I'm a bridge player. There are, in fairness, there's one song in our set that I do want a slightly heavier tone out of, so I'll blend the two pickups for that.
So what are some tunes that you use this one for?
So this one I'm using for all of our stuff that's tuned in drop C sharp tonight.
Okay, so this is like your drop C sharp.
Yeah. So I think we'll probably drag this out 5 or 6 songs tonight. Some Silverchair. We're doing an Ocean Avenue yellow card. We down-tune that to kind of match my voice.
So you're the vocalist too.
I am. Dan and I share the vocals.
Okay, that makes sense.
And I'm a bit of the frontman guy. So
nice.
So there are some songs that are just insanely high. So we do drop them a semitone down just to kind of make it make it a little bit easier to sing. But yeah, you can see this guitar's been well loved. Like the chrome is starting to kind of get that Pantene on it and stuff. So
well, it's supposed to. It just adds character. But I just love the color.
Yeah,
that's gorgeous.
Yeah, just a 2-piece top, and yeah, the binding is perfect. And then it's just like your blue in the back. It is like the came stock with locking tuners. It's just an absolutely fantastic guitar. So
awesome, man.
So yeah, that one was my main forever. This guy here is my other Les Paul, which weighs about half as much as that 60s does. So this is a
that's saying something too, because Les Pauls are renowned for being heavy as hell, right?
So what they did for this one is it's not bound. It doesn't have a top. It's just a solid piece.
Yeah,
so,
it's the faded, right?
Yeah, it is a studio faded.
Very nice.
This one I'm using for a grand total of 2 songs tonight. But it gives me, so this is what I'm using for drop D tonight.
Sweet.
And it just, the 30 years of me being a Les Paul player just won't let me play Fenders for the drop tune stuff. They sound too pretty. So you want a little bit of that grit that the humbucker, true humbucker will give. So
a little bit of oomph.
Yeah. So these are just your, I believe they're 57s in this one as well. Same sort of thing. I've raised the pickup just a bit over spec.
You can see that actually right there.
Just a bit over spec to be able to kind of
get a little hotter.
It gives a little bit more, especially since I'm ampless now. I want that little bit of extra oomph that the guitar is going to give me.
For sure.
And then what got me into Fenders is just this. It's just a Mexi Telly, and the only thing I've done to this guy here is it did have the white pickguard on it. It was a little too country for me as a punk guy. So all I did was swap the pickguard out, and yeah, the rest of it's all stock. This one I actually lowered the single coil. Telly single coils are notoriously hot. So for this one I actually dropped it a little bit.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And that way, so between this one is what I use for all of our tuned E flat stuff. So I tend to prefer, as a rhythm guitarist, a slightly heavier string. So I'm running 10s on these, but the E is a 52, just to kind of give it just a little bit more low end. Try not to crowd Dan too much, but I do want that little bit of a rhythm sound to it. I let Dave take care of all the high end, and I'm all mids. So, and then my board here.
Well, I just have one question for you, actually, real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, like, I'm a big believer in, play what you got, and if you have to, you can make modifications. And apparently, you have the same
actually,
ethos.
truth be told, before I dropped the hot rail into the Strat, I've never modded a guitar. I've always played them stock. My kind of belief is if you're going to drop, $700-800 on a guitar, make sure you love the sound. And then if you want to do something, like I said, $150 pickup is a lot cheaper than another $900 guitar, right? And
For sure.
That the Strat screams now. It's by far it. I never thought I would ever say this about a Fender, but it is actually my favorite guitar right now. I love playing it. So
Careful, them's fighting words.
oh, I know. All the Gibson guys are going to come yelling at me now. But
All right, so you got a pedal board.
I do, and I'm fairly basic because, again, I'm just a rhythm guy. So I really don't do a whole lot.
Well, if you're doing vocals too, right? So.
Yeah. So I'm couldn't play a lead to save my life unless it's octave chords. So I'm very basic with my setup.
Okay.
So my signal chain is just into the Polytune.
Very nice.
And then I run that into just a Joyo EQ. This Joyo EQ is a direct clone to the MXR 6-band, same circuit for half the price. So,
sweet.
So, and I give myself just a little bit more mids, and I do a slight cut in the low end, just to kind of give Dan a little bit more room. So
very nice.
So I just, because I'm the rhythm guy, like I said, I want to live in the mid-range. So that's how I kind of set my stuff up. Behringer compressor sustainer. This is a direct clone of a Boss CS3.
Sweet.
So again, $200 for the Boss. This cost me $60, and it's the exact same circuit.
Love it.
So I do use this as an always on. I find that I just want that a little bit more ring in the guitar, and I find that this really gives it to me. So this is always on for me, as is the EQ. And then I come out from the sustainer just into my mod effects. So this is just a Flamma analog delay, and it's kind of been moved around right now, but I usually just use it as a slapback, and it's for 2 songs that I use it on. That's it. And I use it in combination with probably the most expensive pedal I own other than the Amp Sim. This is just a JHS 3 Series chorus. I do use this a fair amount in a show. Chorus has long been my favorite effect. So
very nice.
Yeah, so, and JHS just makes fantastic pedals.
Oh, they really do.
So of the pedals I've got on the board, by far the most expensive other than my Amp Sim, but yeah, it's absolutely fantastic pedal. And then Dave got me onto the Tonex thing. I had never been ampless guy. Silent stages kind of scared me for a little while.
Damn it, Dave.
Right? The joke we have is he's making me spend like hundreds of dollars at a time. Every time I see his new piece of gear, it's like I gotta have it. So I set mine up a little bit differently than he does. So I do have my clean, and then I just have a mid channel that I use for anything that's not really our punk stuff that we cover.
Okay.
And then I do have a higher gain that I do use for the pop punk covers that we do, as well as the originals that we play. I use that on. And then I switch, and I gotta remember how to do it now. And then I do have a lead channel, because I do actually have a couple leads that I play in a show. It's the exact same patch as I use for the rhythm, with just a little bit of delay and a touch more reverb than having the dry signal. So I use mine a little bit differently than Dave, in that each amp is different. So that's kind of the nice thing about the Tonex, is there's thousands of amplifiers you can drop into it. So my clean is based on a matchless. My mid-range is a dimed Fender Deluxe, I believe, and my lead is a Soldano SL100.
That's awesome, man.
It's the best way to get boutique amplifiers for a tenth of the price. It's absolutely fantastic.
Amen.
And
that's
now,
what we're all about.
Absolutely. I spent way
all
more.
All the tone, half the money.
That's right. Absolutely. So yeah, so that's the setup I use, and I do have. I wish I'd have set it up for you too. I do have a backup, because I'm always a bit of a nervous player, and I've never in 35 years of playing had a pedal fail me on stage. If I don't set up an actual analog amp, that's when it's going to happen to me.
Of course.
So I do have set up in case I need it for shows. Hughes and Kettner Tubemeister 18. So 18 watt tube amp. And I run it through a Trainer 1x12 that's loaded with a Celestion V30.
For those who don't know, Trainer, anyone who's not Canadian,
Yeah, they're built like tanks. My cab is set up. I just didn't set up the amp,
Yeah.
but the cab's behind us. It's a beautiful.
Just take a quick look at it.
Yeah,
right
so
here.
there's the trainer cab there. Beautiful sound out of it. It was my main gigging amp for at least 10 years. I will never ever come to a show without it. Like I said, I'm a bit of a nervous guy, and hopefully I never have to use it, but it's nice to have it if I do.
So for those that don't know, Trainer are a Canadian brand.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, made in Canada. I think they actually started in the back of a Long McQuade.
They did.
Yeah, in Toronto.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Long McQuade is essentially the Canadian Guitar Center. So,
So yeah, no, it's an absolutely fantastic setup. It gives me a little bit more room on stage to kind of move around. I'm probably the most active walking around on stage in the band
Well, if you're the
during our
front man, it makes
shows.
sense
So
too,
yeah,
right?
so yeah, this way everything I need is kind of self-contained, and yeah, I'm plug in and ready to go.
well, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Eh?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Cheers.
Yeah. So last but certainly not least, okay, I want to look at what we're using for, so this is Dan Canal, and he is actually the one who keeps the low end of Vag
right.
Intent. He's the one who keeps the beat, he's the one who keeps the rhythm and makes them dance. All right?
I try.
Bass player extraordinaire.
I don't think we're
Yeah.
gonna have.
So, along with the percussion, Sarah's over there, and she just kind of gave me a look like, I keep the rhythm.
Yeah.
What are you doing? But anyway, so, run me through your instruments, man.
Cool.
Let's see
Okay.
'em.
So we have two basses. These are my two newest basses, actually.
Oh, how many you got at home?
I have two more at home. So this is Sterling Stingray 24CA.
Oh, very nice.
Very, it's got the slab body, which is a bit different. I love the white color, single. It's my only active bass.
Okay.
The only problem is a boat anchor, but
it's a
sounds
boat
amazing,
anchor?
and I love
Let's
it.
take a peek here. Just
So-
kind of do a profile there. Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah, I haven't done no mods on it. I'm still in the honeymoon phase with it, kind of getting used to what it sounds like to see if I do want to make any mods. But
And you know what? That's important. Like, I do think, like, if you buy a new guitar or bass in this case, you do need to take a little while to figure out, like, if it's what you want.
Yeah,
right?
for
You
sure.
gotta test it out first,
yeah,
right?
I do
Before-
that quite a bit, which is why I cycle through a lot of instruments.
Hey, guilty as charged, dude. Seriously.
Yeah,
I run a gear channel.
cool. And my other one is my newest bass. It is a Sire V3.
Oh, that is nice.
It's actually the passive version of it.
Okay.
Normally V3s are active, but one active bass is kind of enough for me. I'm more of a passive guy, but so when I knew this had an option for passive, I chose that instead. So
That is an awesome instrument. Sire makes like some really good stuff.
yeah, and like I said, I have a P bass I was telling you about earlier. That's made by Sire as well. It's a fantastic instrument. Most incredible neck I've ever played. This one is close, not quite there, but it's close. And yeah, I really like their instruments. So
For sure. All right, so you got a much smaller board than the other guys.
yes,
Okay,
very
but-
simple setup. Yes.
But let's check this out.
Yeah. So down here we have tuner. Always got to be in tune, right?
For sure.
And then we'll skip over to here.
Oh,
This
okay.
is essentially my amp. It's just the DI Bach, the Sans amp. I don't ever really change the settings. I found a sound that I like, and just has a little bit of drive on it, some clear mids, which is really what I want to go for with the kind of music we play. And when I want to have some fuzz or distortion, I use the Big Muff. It's only on a few songs, but you can really tell when it kicks in. So
For sure.
yeah, very simple setup.
Yeah. Well, hey, look. If sometimes simple is better. Oh, we got the light shining here.
whoa,
I'm gonna turn around here.
Move over here. There you go.
First time doing these videos, I can't exactly control stage lights.
Fair enough.
But hey, look. If the setup is simple and it works, right?
Exactly.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, for sure.
For sure. How long you been playing?
Since I was 12.
Okay.
On and off, like there's been breaks, but now we've been together now about 3 years. So I say that we've been together our whole lives since we're siblings, at least some of us.
For sure.
But yeah, we've been back together for 3 years where we've been playing consistently. But before that, it was on and off for, over 25 years now. So, yeah.
Very nice. All right, man. Well, thank you so much for showing me your stuff. And
no problem.
Seriously, kick some ass on the gig tonight.
Awesome. Rock on.
Awesome. All right, thank you. All right, well, thank you guys. That was actually awesome. I loved seeing your gear. Now, Sarah, I know I left you out. I'm sorry if you're upset with me.
Not at all.
But Sarah is actually the drummer. Okay, so along with Dan, she's the one who keeps the rhythm and keeps them dancing, I think. Yeah. So, I found out when I got here, actually, that 3 of you are related. So who's all related here? All
Us three.
Those three.
Us 3.
Yeah.
So siblings.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It makes rehearsals a little different, we'll say, as the outsider looking in.
Yeah, I mean, we've always, we have a unique chemistry, I'll say. Some people don't get it, but I think anybody who has siblings will understand the difference between bickering and an actual fight where people want to leave the room, which
I love that.
doesn't happen very often at all with us. But
Well, that's good.
yeah.
So are you guys, like, is it a musical family? Like, do your parents play?
No.
No?
No, just us.
Yes, as far as we know, that's yeah. I don't know. Like even extended family, there isn't many people
Yeah,
who
not really.
are very musical at all. So
No? Well,
And definitely not together like like we are. So.
so. Noel, how was that joining in on what was essentially a family band?
I joke on stage at almost every show, it's kind of like the Partridge Family, and I just happen to drive the bus. So I've somehow become the unofficial dad of the band, I think, through some of this. And it's fun. It's every once in a while you got to play referee. And kind of to Dan's point, there's bickering and then there's something else. And you kind of figure out which is which in a hurry, for sure.
For sure. And I mean, like, disagreements are going to happen. Like, if you guys are, people are working together, like, eventually there's going to be some kind of conflict.
Yeah.
So how do you guys work through that, for example?
it depends. We try our best to be like democratic about it, especially when it comes to like what people prefer musically, whether that's like song choice or a choice of something to do or not do in a song that's like an original for
like
us.
Creative stuff.
So it depends. Usually there's times where somebody will be really adamant about like what they want in a song and they'll keep it in. But a lot of times it'll come down to voting. Yeah, I'm talking about myself. But a lot of times it'll come down to voting, and sometimes it's just the majority wins with what we think sounds best. So.
That makes sense. So, question for, whoever wants to answer it. Vague Intent. That's actually a really good band name. Okay, it's not bad at all. I've been doing this for a while, not necessarily these videos, but been in the music, around music for my entire life, and there's some interesting names out there.
Yeah, so I think
where did that come from?
Me and Sarah kind of came up with it. We were, talking, just brainstorming different band names, and somehow, Vague Intent, the actual Vague Intentions is a lyric from a Blink-182 song.
Nice, love it.
So Every Time I Look For You is the name of the song, and the part of it says approach with vague intentions. And I just thought that's kind of a good name for a band and with us, because at the time when we kind of just started playing again, we didn't really know what we were doing, so it was, a vague intent, and it just kind of stuck.
Okay, I'm nodding, but I'm also shaking the camera. I gotta be careful. All right, that's awesome. Let's see here. Now, I mean, like I mentioned before, like I've been running mostly what is a gear channel. So I want you to like think about it. Like, how has does gear affect your songwriting? How does that, like when you get a new piece of equipment, does that affect your songwriting at all?
For me, not really.
No.
Actually, more so after. Kind of like once the song is done, I'll think of maybe other effects that I could use for certain parts of the song, like lead parts or little hooks and stuff like that.
For sure.
That's for me. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Well, I write, like, when I write songs, I don't. Well, actually, I do write some on bass, but I mean, a lot of times when I write on bass, it's like in my room with nothing plugged in. It's just so it's gonna sound like an acoustic bass. So it doesn't really, outside of maybe wanting to play an instrument more than another one. A lot of times writing, I'll just grab his acoustic guitar, which he's gone through a couple, so it doesn't really matter which one it is. It's more of just wanting to get a song out. So.
For sure.
Yeah, that's the same for me too. Every song I've written has started on an acoustic guitar first. I've always been a believer that a song has to sound good on the acoustic first before you add anything else.
I couldn't agree more.
So the way I've kind of sent some demos to these guys has been through kind of an evolution. So they get the acoustic version first with just nothing on it. Then they get another recording of it with some dirt and a couple of effects. And I think I sent one demo that was completely done with all of the effects that I wanted and things like that. I was pretty particular about it, and we promptly shelved it, I think, after trying it like once or twice, because it just didn't match everything else we were writing, and that happens, right? So new pieces of gear for me are more for the live show as opposed to the writing aspect of it, for sure.
For sure, that makes sense. Sarah, what do you think?
Myself, I struggle with trying to write drum parts and
we all
creating. So a lot of times I'll come up with something, if I do, and these guys may not like it. So it's a lot of back and forth, and I'll come up with something, and then they'll say, well, it might be better if you play this, and then, or I'll just go right to them and be like, what should I do? So
that's awesome. Okay, let's see here. So you guys have been playing together, I think you said 3 years, right? 3 years?
They have.
Yeah.
I'm newer.
Yeah.
Actually, I figured out today that this is probably as close to my first anniversary show as I'm going to get with these guys. I joined around the end of June last year.
Aww.
Yeah, so I'm expecting a cake at tonight's show and some nice little whatever your first anniversary gift is. Yeah, I had left a band that was doing something not very much different than this band is, just not as great of a song choice. And I had taken a break for a few months. I was going to do a solo thing, and we kind of crossed paths. I decided I wanted to get back out there with the band. At the same time, they were looking to bring somebody in. And I think it was Dave and I chatted through email for a few times, and yeah, now they're stuck with me, for better or for worse. Being in a band is about as close to being in a family as you can be, and in this case, it's quite true.
So. You kind of married into it.
A little bit, yeah, I really did.
Actually, I come from my own family is incredibly small, but my wife's family is huge. So the wedding, there were 400 people at the wedding. 20 of them were mine.
Yeah. That sounds about right, yeah.
I filled a table. So I kind of get it. I really do. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that said, you guys have been around for 3 years. So any interesting gig stories?
As a four-piece here, we've really just started playing regular shows November last year.
Yeah. Everything's gone pretty smooth.
So far, knock on wood,
yeah,
right?
We'll knock on that twice.
In a past life, I was a touring musician, and probably one of the most bizarre shows I've ever played was at an old country bar. I was in a punk band, and it still had the chicken wire that you'd see in like every bad movie around the stage. They hadn't torn it down.
Roadhouse.
It was a local promoter was looking for a place to happen, and this particular bar, I guess, didn't have anything booked that night, and they said, yeah, come here, kind of thing. Gave it to them on the cheap, and yeah, I was really hoping for like that typical country movie bar fight where people are starting to throw stuff at the stage and everything else. And being a punk band, you kind of half thought that you were just going to incite it on your own, but it didn't happen. But it was a great show nonetheless. It was just this little bar up near Kingston that I played. So yeah, it was,
What was the name of it?
honestly, God, I can't even remember. It was probably 25 or so years ago, and I was probably well lubricated by the time I hit the stage. So yeah, it was nice. In that band I wasn't singing, it was just me playing rhythm guitar, and I didn't have to think about anything, and every punk song's about 3 chords long, so it was the best way to just kind of enjoy a show. It was actually probably one of the most fun shows I've had.
Let's see what else we got here. Is there a dream venue or festival that you would love to play at?
Oh, Woodstock 94. Skip the 90s. 90s crap. The lineup for that reunion or redo or however you want to call it was absolutely fantastic from the first to the last band. Like to see the Hip just as they were kind of coming into their own. I would have loved to have played that. And this is coming from somebody who absolutely hates outdoor shows. Hate them with every fiber of my being.
Well, especially today, it's like 35 degrees out.
Yeah.
In the shade.
Okay, so last question for you guys. You guys are playing tonight. How are you going to mentally prepare for the show? What do you do to prep
These two
for it?
sleep.
And then napping
These
is
three
always
sleep,
nice.
I guess. but-
Get a nap before the show.
Yeah, my routine has changed. This is the first band I've ever done anything remotely close to lead singing. So usually I just really didn't do a whole lot different. This is probably more talking than I've done before a show than I've ever done in this band. So it'll be go home and be silent for a couple hours, rest the voice. Beyond that, like I'm kind of looking at my watch now and I'm thinking, yeah, I'm probably up for the night now, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Nobody wants a groggy lead singer. So, but yeah, at this point now, I'm going to go on to full on baby my voice mode and just, that's kind of the mental preparation that I do. We're playing some new stuff tonight that I'm still not square on the lyrics. I might give that a couple listens, but I've got a cheat sheet just in case. And yeah, that's my thing. Yeah.
I usually kind of on the same line as what Noel was saying. I'll try my best not to, I mean, it depends on what's happening that day, but a lot of times I'll try to stay as quiet as possible until it's time to warm up my voice. But just kind of trying to relax as much as possible, eat something good, just do something relaxing. The odd time, Dave and I will go through like some last minute stuff. Usually it's for his sake, sometimes it's for mine. But usually if Noel said it best, like if we're not ready now, then we're never going to be ready. So it's just relaxing and being ready to enjoy the night, have fun.
Mm-hmm.
Stay positive. Say a prayer before you go on stage. Hype yourself up.
Yeah.
You know, positive vibes in your mind, because I tend to kind of get, if you get too nervous, right, you might start to get, this could go wrong, this could go wrong. Don't do that. Just stay as positive as you can. You're going to have a good time, and yeah, go out and rock.
I think tonight we'll all do shots before we go on.
Oh yeah, liquid
for
courage.
yourself.
Amen to that. All right, guys. So when's your next show?
Well, after tonight, we're at the Cherry, July 25th, with actually my old band, not the one I left to join these guys, but another band I was in called Overdrive Suite. And we're basically 1 a month from now through October. We're kind of slowly writing what we hope will be a 5 or 6 song EP that we want to get out by the end of the year of just our original stuff, and we're doing covers really for fun. It's songs that we've known for 30-ish years, and a lot of people are getting right back into that 90s stuff. So we do some classic punk as well, because you have to, like, you got to pay homage to the Ramones and the Misfits and things like that. And yeah, I think that's really it, right? Like, yeah.
Hey, well, when that EP comes out, I want a signed copy.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys. Well, this was great. Please go rock it tonight. Have some fun. We're at the Dominion House. This is one of the oldest bars in Canada. Go have some fun. Oh, one other thing. Give me your socials. Where can people find some more info about you?
Yeah, we're, I think, all over the socials. So Vague Intent Band on Instagram and Facebook. Our website is vagueintent.com. So if I've forgotten any of our socials, there's links all over that. Our first single is on that website, a song called Memory Lane. Free to download. We're giving it away for free just to get it out there. It's also available wherever you get your streaming crap. And yeah, by all means, reach out to us. We love when people reach out and interact with us. It makes things way more fun that way.
That's awesome, guys. And I'm going to make sure that there's some links in the description for this video too.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right?
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. This was fun.
You guys were amazing. Okay, I think this went great. Thank you so much for letting me do this.
Thanks
and
for having us. It was great.
Rock on, guys.
Thanks.
This is Gear Up with Vague Intent. Thank you.
Man, folks, I had a good time doing this video. Thanks to all the guys in Vague Intent, Dan, Dave, Noel, and Sarah. You guys rock. That was awesome, and thanks for letting me do this. Also, I wanted to say thank you to the Dominion House Tavern. That's the local venue that allowed me to do the filming there before the show. Dominion House Tavern is one of Canada's oldest bars that's been in continuous operation since the 1800s. They're a lot of fun, and they host some great musical acts. Sloan, White Buffalo, and many, many more have all played there. So please check them out, and I'll include their information in the description. I hope you've enjoyed checking out the equipment that Vague Intent uses for all of their shows, and I hope that you'll like and subscribe to see what I've got coming up next. I've got a couple more bands that I've reached out to. They're going to be letting me do this exact same thing, so please keep an eye out. A few takeaways that I learned from meeting with Vague Intent include: 1, the importance of family. Your band really does, if they're successful and if they're cohesive, they really do become a second family. You can't really spend that much time with other people working that hard and having that much fun without becoming really, really close and developing those close ties. It's pretty apparent when you watch Vague Intent play and when you hear them talk about each other. Also, I loved what Noel said about songwriting. This is primarily a gear channel, and I like buying stuff as much as the next guy. But it's also important for us to remember that the gear and the pedals, the effects, it's all meant just to enhance the show. When it comes to songwriting, if you can't write a decent song just with an acoustic guitar and the lyrics, effects aren't going to fix that. And any number of gear items won't help either. But Vague Intent seems to know this pretty well, and it's probably why they're producing some pretty great tracks. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is Sandy Ridge Music, where tone and tech collide. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Take care.